Hey, this is Josh Middleton from Architects and Soilosis, and you're checking out my signature preset pack for the STL Tone Hub plugin. So what people can expect from my pack is a very wide range of tones, a bunch of different amps, heads, pedals used, and I really like to try and focus on nailing the sound as best as possible to sit in a mix at the source. So for me, getting the mic placement is crucial. And I've mic'd up different sides of the speaker, that kind of thing, used the same amp, different boost pedals, so there's a very wide array of different sounds and possibilities in this preset pack. In terms of the gear that I use, I've collected a bunch of different cabs with speakers that I really like, particularly some older cabs with older speakers from about 2000, and they just seem to be a little bit darker. And to me, the most important part of the guitar tone really is nailing the mic placement in the cab and the speaker. As much as amplifiers and pedals are a lot more fun as a guitarist, to me, what's really at least half as important is nailing that sound from the cab and getting the mic placement just right and having just a good cab and a good speaker in the first place. So that's something that is really important to me and that I really try and capture from the source tone. So make sure that these tones, you can load up a preset without any EQ on it and it should sit pretty well in the mix. In terms of the cabs used, there's been a slight change in production of certain speakers that I like over the years, and I found, for my personal taste, that some older ones, I don't know if it's whether they were broken in a bit more or just the fact that they just were produced slightly differently, but I have some speakers from the year 2000 that are just particularly pleasing to me. They get the high end right and they're not too bright. So yeah, I've kind of just collected a bunch of different cabs that span a few different years and have quite different sounding speakers. And this is, yeah, the most important thing to me in capturing guitar tone is really nailing that speaker sound. What I'm looking for in a guitar tone, even though I play in two different bands with two different tunings, all the way from E standard all the way down to a low F sharp, the main things that I look for don't change too drastically. I'm always looking for a very even guitar tone, not too dark, too bright. I'm looking for that pick clarity. Obviously I kind of go for a bit more pick clarity and tightness in the lower tunings. Maybe I'll push the mids a tiny bit more. For the most part though, it's kind of very similar stuff that I look for, and I think that these tones will work for a wide range of tunings, and that's something that I've tested myself. I think what's unique about my pack is playing in two different bands that have two very different but distinctive sounds, and just having tones that are going to work for any type of tuning or any type of aggressive metal or like heavy music. And yeah, I just think there's such a wide range of tones in this pack. I really wanted to push for a huge amount of variety. What I think is unique about this profile pack is that these are all tones that I would use. I've always liked to capture my own sounds in the studio or live, and now people can just have access to all the amps I use and the cabs and the mic placement, just the click of a button, which is really cool. And I feel like my tones will just, no matter what tuning you're playing in or what type of music you play, that they'll work for anything. I think something that's really important to me, especially when I've got an idea and I want to record something, is just being able to not have to worry too much about setting something up or micing up an amp. I can just, record my ideas really quickly using this plugin. So my first reaction to the plugin was I got a tone together my end in the studio, sent them over just the audio file from the amp and a clean DI, and they're able to just turn it around like that overnight and just send me something back that worked in the plugin and just replicated that sound, which was really cool to hear. So in terms of the stomp box and effects sections of the plugin, I kind of like to use the stomp pedal, kind of tweak that just in terms of what guitar or pickup I'm using to affect the tightness or how much level is hitting the front end of the amp. And it's really useful to be able to use the delay and the reverb built in for any kind of like lead parts or ambient sections. without having to set up extra effects on your track.
It's so clear to see, it's a blind belittle, and following
What I really like about the cabinet module on the plugin is you can move the mic placement to the left or right, get it a little bit brighter or a little bit darker. You can also adjust the distance that the mic is to the speaker and also the angle, which is really cool. And it's probably something that I tweak the most and enjoy playing with the most on the plugin. In terms of how I use this plugin, it really just makes things so much easier. I've got a lot of different amps, a lot of different cabs that take a lot of time to set up, and everything now is just in this plugin at the click of a button. And there are certain combinations of amps, pedals, cabs that I like to use and I know will work for different bands or different tunings and that kind of thing. And now I can just click between them instantly. In terms of how I see other people using this plugin, it can be a wide range of people. There's a huge amount of tones in my pack. So whether it's someone producing a record, someone just demoing at home in their bedroom, or even someone wanting to use these tones live, they should translate well in any environment.